Ages 15 to 65 years of age are significantly less likely than women to seek preventative care services. During this Men's Health Month, it's a good time to educate yourself on recommended screenings and preventative health practices. Joining me now to talk about the importance of mental health and why that needs to be addressed in our preventative care as well is Holly Humphreys. She's a licensed professional counselor with ThriveWorks. Welcome back to the show. It's good to have you here.
Thanks for having me again.
Yeah, this is a good conversation because a lot of times people push their health to the side, especially with their mental health. So why is it important for us to really recognize this Men's Health Month?
Well, people of all genders do experience mental health issues, but men are less likely to seek help, whether socially or professionally, for any type of mental health issues. So that's why it's really important for us to bring awareness.
And just say that it's okay if we start these conversations. So maybe what are some of the factors that you see in your practice? Why are men saying that they're so reluctant to get those conversations started?
Some of it is societal norms.
Yeah.
There's sometimes a perceived notion that uncomfortable feelings like grief or sadness is a sign of weakness. Men, you know, sometimes have a lot of difficulty just communicating feelings or even identifying feelings. They're just used to being told, you know, suck it up, basically.
And I feel like there's been a trend, and you'll have to tell me if you're seeing this as well, but, you know, generations prior really had this pride in terms of bottling it up and taught that to their sons, taught that to their family members. But now it seems like we're showing that that's not the case. It's more, there's more strength in talking about those feelings.
Absolutely. And I think men are starting to recognize that what they were modeled and taught is not actually very healthy. And I think they're actually starting to notice too that if they talk about their feelings and make it a more common language in the home, which you know is a big thing to promote right now in therapy, just in general, is just making talking about feelings a regular thing. But it allows their children to recognize, oh my gosh, he's feeling the same way I am. I'm not abnormal. And that, you know, if he feels this way and he can work through it, I can too. And it really does, I think, strengthen a connection and a bond in a family as well.
Yeah, and we talked about the importance of those bonds earlier in the show in terms of interpersonal relationships within a family itself. Common issues that men face when they are coming to maybe therapy or starting these conversations, is it similar to what everyone faces?
Yeah, you know, I'd say I definitely have seen an uptick in seeing more men over the course of the past couple years, but it's mostly, you know, depression, anxiety, relationship issues, divorce. There is sometimes anger management seems to be a more common thing with men more than women. But when you break it down and get to the root cause, it's usually just overwhelming feelings from intense anxiety.
Yeah, not knowing how to process that emotion too. And again, seeing a professional can really help you work through it so it doesn't explode into an anger episode.
Yes.
Okay, so when we talk about seeing somebody in our lives, one of our loved ones, maybe a man or somebody else, they seem to be struggling. How do we start the conversation with them and maybe encourage them to bring this to a professional?
So some of the signs to kind of look out for is, you know, are they struggling with sleeping? Are they either sleeping too much or not sleeping at all? Are there anxiety or panic attacks? Increased irritability, that sort of thing. So if you notice any of those signs, then just kind of starting to open the dialogue of, hey, this is what I'm noticing, and see if they will just open up. You know, sometimes it's just being there to listen and not feel the need to try to solve it or provide solutions. You know, just being a sounding board is a really great way to help somebody. But also getting them, you know, maybe engaged with other people, whether it is professionally or just socially. You know, a lot of times there's a tendency to disengage and you know, kind of seclude yourself. So, you know, trying to get them engaged in just any type of social activity is helpful as well, being more of an active participant in their own life.
And I like the reminder too that we don't need to provide solutions a lot of times. And I'm guilty of this. I'll be like, oh, well, you could do this, that, or the other thing. And that can maybe add to some of that feeling of being overwhelmed or anxiousness as well.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. Well, of course, ThriveWorks is one of those resources if you want to start talking to somebody, or of course, there's a lot of other resources in our hometowns as well. We'll put ThriveWorks on our website and Holly Humphrey's information as well. But thank you, Holly, for being here today, and I hope you have a great week.